Madam President Charean Williams joins us. Hi, Charean.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So I'm looking here at my magic computer, and I see Jerry Jones says that the Cowboys are going to throw the ball at Richard Sherman. Why is he saying that?
It's probably not a real good idea, is it? But they say they're going to move Dez around and do what they do, and if Dez ends up matched against Richard Sherman, that's the way they'll go. That he's their key receiver, and so we'll see if that's the case. I don't expect him to go after Richard Sherman a whole bunch, but, they looked at what San Diego did a little bit, and I think they'll try to copy some of the things the Chargers did, although the Cowboys obviously are a much better running team than the Chargers are.
I guess my question is, why tug on Superman's cape when Superman is anything but a shrinking violet like Clark Kent? Richard Sherman is quite the opposite. He wants you to challenge him, and he wants you to tell him that you're going to challenge him.
No question. It could be a good post-game rant from Richard Sherman this week, too. But, Jerry, he can't resist himself either. So he's going to talk, and he's going to challenge people. And if it turns out his way, he's going to talk after the game. And if it doesn't turn out his way, he's probably still going to talk after the game. So we're going to have some good post-game rants here between Jerry and Sherman after this one's over. Do
the Cowboys, Charean, really think that they can run the ball against the Seahawks in their building?
Yeah, I think they do think that. And, they did an awfully good job against J.J. Watt. And I think if you watched him play last night against the Indianapolis Colts, you realize how good the Cowboys' offensive line is, that they really controlled Watt for the most part. He had the wide-open sack of Romo that he missed on. But for the most part, the Cowboys did a great job on him. They think they can line up and run the ball on anybody. That's going to be tested this week. We all know that. But Bill Callahan told me yesterday, he said, we're not arrogant about it. We're just not going to tell people what we're going to do and line up and think we're going to be able to do it. But we do think we can run the ball on anybody and can run it well. And they've done that so far this year, but this is their biggest test this season.
Charean, let's talk big picture. We know that DeMarco Murray is on pace for 416 carries. That would be the most in the history of the National Football League, tying Larry Johnson's record when he was with the Chiefs. If you get to 400, you break down. That's just a fact. That's a trend, and that's how it goes. Yet the Cowboys, according to our Ian Rappaport, are offering an extension, a 4-year extension to DeMarco Murray. Do they think that at 27, next year he'll be 27, a guy that's never played 8 consecutive games without missing one for an injury, is worth a 4-year extension?
Well, they did it with Marion Barber, and they proved to be wrong in that case. So probably just depends on how much guaranteed they're going to give him. And I would be surprised if it's a lot. I would be surprised if DeMarco Murray accepts anything. Why would he until the end of the season? And the Cowboys, frankly, shouldn't be offering it until he goes out and shows that he can play a 16-game season, something he hadn't done. We know his injury history. He hasn't played a 16-game season yet. And you're right, 416 carries, he's going to break down if he has that many carries this season. The guys just can't do. You can go through the history books and find all the guys who carry the ball over 350 times, and they break down. And it's not a good thing for him to do that. So, you have to hope that he doesn't do that, that they take some pressure off of him. Joseph Randle, Jerry said today, is going to get more carries this week. We'll see. They've said that repeatedly the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Charean, you've covered this team for how many years now?
Well, I've covered I guess I've been here since '99. This is my 21st NFL season.
Okay, I mean, I'm setting that up for a reason. The point is, you know this team. You know this organization. You know how that town works. You know how your owner works. I'm going to throw something out there with no sources. This is me throwing something against the wall. Tell me if it makes any sense. Adrian Peterson's a Cowboy next year.
I think that very well could happen if DeMarco. I don't think it's DeMarco Murray and Adrian Peterson. I think it's DeMarco Murray or Adrian Peterson. And I think if DeMarco Murray walks, if somebody offers him more money after the season and he leaves, I very well think that could happen. I think Adrian Peterson could be your running back here next year.
And again, there are so many variables here. Obviously, he is still a Viking, and he still has years left on that deal. He is still facing very serious charges in Montgomery County, Texas. I'm just throwing stuff against the wall, not predicting it, just saying, of all the scenarios we could see, that to me is a scenario that might not be likely, but it wouldn't shock me. That's all.
I'm right there with you. I think it very well could happen, assuming his legal situation is done. You know, we've seen that with Josh Brent. They obviously brought him back here. We've seen Rolando McClain. They brought him in here, you know, and they've had some good results in the past with guys in trouble with the law who've come in here and done well. Now, they've had some go the other way, too, but I think they would take a chance on Adrian Peterson. Jerry Jones thinks an awful lot of him, and I think that very well could happen if everything gets cleared and he's not a Minnesota Viking anymore.
And again, that's way down the line. Just making stuff up here, so don't report that I said that. Charean Williams, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. No, you got to get to the locker room. Thank you as always, Charean. Good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.